In this episode, we will investigate the detail of Sam's death and his relationship with Merritt. We'll also discuss the Williams' health. Episode 5 of Dept Q starts with Carl and Akram asking Paul questions about Sam Hague. Turns out he's been dead for 4 years, and he was a pretty avid climber back then. How you find him? I went up early to take some photos for website, then I saw Sam's car in the park. Sam's car had been locked in overnight. I went. It would appear that he went climbing on his own one day, without the right equipment, and fell. He is responsible for his own death. I don't the relationship of Sam's with Merritt. If it was personal, he never mentioned it. We also don't know what it was yet. Sam was a risk-taker, and very much a loner too. When he wasn't at work, he'd be rock climbing. How often did he climb up the crag? He'd climb the crag regularly, usually once a week when it was a bit less busy. For Sam, it would take 45 minutes or maybe a bit longer when free soloing without a rope. Both were discussing that he climbed all the way up there without rope. Wow. What did you expect? There are a lot of signs in the park. How the gate will be locked and your car is unable to leave. Sam fell on Sunday. He wasn't fined until Monday, when Paul saw his car still in the car park. He climbed up once a week and it'd take 45 minutes or 1 hour. He didn't have time. He knew the rules, then why did he do that? Maybe someone checked him off. Why? But the answer is whatever he was doing with Merritt, as opposed to here. This story, though, has a lot of holes in it, which Akram is quick to point out. Sam's equipment was still inside his locked car, and no keys were found at the crime scene or on his person either. However, with all of these facts being clearly ignored, it points to someone else entirely being involved. What are we not being told here? In the past, we see more flashbacks with Merritt. She's not happy with Sam sniffing around her workplace because he covered organized crime. She asked him, "Why would you want to write about me?" "I don't. You're not my thing." And his editor at the Scottish Telegraph has decided that Sam should write up a story about her background regarding Moore. He pries into her history and lack of opening up about her family, hinting at something deeper. Merritt bites back, though, bringing up how Sam is anonymous online and has a similar sense of wanting to protect his own persona. He keeps himself reserved from his workplace, and even they can't figure out his unpredictable nature. Back in the present, Rachel shows up in the basement, looking for Carl. When she doesn't find him, she does run into Rose instead, who asks about Dr. Sonnenberg. This is the person she was initially seeing after her heart attack, and it's immediately clear that Rose has OCD and PTSD following an incident in the past where she was a passenger in a pursuit when they hit an elderly pedestrian. This is the root cause of her trauma and why she's so twitchy, not to mention reluctantly about getting behind the wheel of a car. Interestingly, Rachel knows who Merritt is too. She met her once at a party with an ex, who was also a lawyer too, but we don't get much more beyond that. Rose asked about any message for Carl. She said doesn't matter, he'll ignore it. I think Carl feels that he is responsible for everything. Then she leaves the basement. Akram and Carl further investigate the case detail. Sam Metz, lot of source in the hotel. Is there anyone other missing after the death of Sam? Could he have been working on a story with Merritt? One that put her at risk as well. You were the editor of Sam. He worked under the radar for his own safety. How did he work? I spoke with him and I rarely saw him. He lived in a sticks, used a burner phone. Still, you must have known on which project he was working on. He did his own things, maybe he took notes. And I don't know where he kept them. All information is died with his death. You must meet with all those Sam spent his time with. Do you think one of them shoved him off from cliff? He didn't give any answer, and he started further question. Rose FaceTimes with Hardy and shows off the board they've been working on for this case. He recognizes the bird insignia, given his ties as a fisherman, and we learn that this bird is actually a cormorant. See, it ate Merritt, because William Lingard saw someone twice wearing that hat, once on the board and once at home. William couldn't speak, so he sketched this after he escaped from Egley House, and this one right before she disappeared. He wants scans of this, though, in order to look deeper into this. Moira heads down to the basement in the midst of this and wants to be walked through what happened with Merritt. Akram is also grilled over the way he handled the junkies too. Swiftly reminded that this isn't Syria and he needs to be careful. When Carl shows up, Hardy showed him a bird cormorant. It's a logo. For me, neither. Go back to your bird. This family was broken. Hardy has a theory. He believes that given Jamie was poor and Lila was not, there's some motive around money. Lila's account is actually linked to a trust account in the Channel Islands Bank on Jersey. Carl said your motive is that someone took Merritt to steal her money. The trail has gone cold here, but Carl's not particularly happy when he finds out that Hardy's symptoms aren't quite so bad as he thought. He's been in rehab for a while, and he may even be able to walk again at some point. When Carl returns, he ignores Moira and speaks to his team about how they need to look further back in the timeline because 4 years gone. It's difficult to reconstruct the connection, so we need to look for the back. Hardy said get to the point of Merritt money. She had a trust fund. She was drawing the money from the trust up until she was disappeared. Specifically, checking who the trust fund belongs to. Given William is not able to look after his share, it would naturally be passed to his legal guardian. And who is that? She got a point and ready to move Wallace. Carl confronts Wallace and learns that she's been siphoning money out of William's trust fund all this time. Furthermore, William himself is not doing well, lying on his stomach in his bed with drawings all over the floor of the potential killer. Carl asked her multiple questions, but she didn't tell anything. Carl said, if you don't compromise without us, then get ready for trial. Akram came and told Carl about the condition of William, that they've got him drugged. He's just heavily sedated. Sometimes he agitate, then we gave him dose of Thorazine. Wallace has been running a racket here with William, alongside other patients in her care. Get him in my car. You're now in trouble. Carl and the others take William and bring him to Claire's, someone who will actually look after him properly. Back in the basement, Rose speaks to Carl about Merritt's bank statements. She's gone through all her old receipts and credit card statements, but this time she's gone back for a year and seen something that stands out. She did shopping after the job alone without William. All the shops she went to were close to the Crown offices, but one place in particular stood out given it was not nearby. This comes in the form of a laundrette near the Cowgate. She showed up there a week before she went missing. Carl doesn't say that he's impressed, but he allows Rose to go and investigate further alongside Akram. At the laundrette, Rose speaks to the owner, Shirley, who knows exactly who Merritt is, and curses them out for bringing her name up. As we soon learn, this is Kirsty's mom. Remember her? We discuss her in second episode. Kirsty Atkins was the one put behind bars for a drug addiction, and although Merritt initially showed to apologize, she lost her nerve before she did and hurriedly left. Kirsty is still in Pentland's prison right now, which is where they put her after Merritt almost got her killed in Saughton prison. Off Akram and Rose go heading in to see Kirsty. She's ready to start again and disappear once she's out from behind bars. Akram immediately cuts through Kirsty's tough facade and can tell that she's scared. The attack on her life, where she lost an eye, was supposed to kill her. They told her what was happened. She revealed important information about Finch. I met this woman, Andrea Finch. She told that her husband will kill her. He gave her beatdown, left her with black eyes and broken ribs. He also broke her cheekbones. She was convinced that he'd find her at the refuge. So she left, and I have never saw her again. That case lingered but Merritt bailed on her at a critical time. The plan was supposed to be that, in exchange for testifying, Kirsty would get an early release. But at the last minute, she changed her mind as Kirsty wasn't credible. I call her and told her that I'm not safe. I'm getting threats. It seems like Kirsty pissed off someone high up, as 2 lifers behind bars were paid £500 in their commissary to finish the job and kill Kirsty. After speaking to Merritt on a smuggled phone prior to the attack, pleading for her life, Merritt hung up on her when she found out Kirsty was on drugs. Back into the flashbacks, Merritt colleague told her that Kirsty cannot help you because she was stubbed. Kirsty was attacked several times afterwards, and not only was she stabbed in the eye, but also through her lung and another that missed her heart by a few millimeters. Hearing this, our past timeline sees Merritt decide to go and speak to Sam Hague about what she knows.